Stanley, we're concerned about your lifestyle.
You've been doing great for a couple of months, but we know this is when you relapse.
This is an intervention, Stanley.
Whoa, guys, I appreciate the concern, but you know how it is this time of year. It's my job.
You know that's not what we're talking about here. I mean, you get crazy when you drink.
Yeah, like when the Avs won the Stanley Cup. You let Claude Lemieux take a dumping.
Claude said that was a joke. He said it was pudding and ice cream.
Yeah, but what about Chris Draper's baby in 2008?
That was definitely poop, but she's a baby.
Okay, how about the time you tried to swim after the Penguins won?
Well, maybe this should be an intervention for trust, because Mario Lemieux said he had me.
Don't you see? These are all excuses.
I'm not gonna sit here and take this. Where did the keeper of me go? Philip? Philip? You know what? The box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Congrats to the Cup on his 30-day chip. Welcome to the box score. I'm Brock here in Los Angeles, and the Danettes have made their way back to the Big Apple and are joining us from the DirecTV studios in New York. There's no doubt you guys are big time these days. Yesterday, you headed into the city to attend a screening of the latest Adam Sandler flick. You were the only ones in the theater with Dan last night. McLovin, you're the resident diva. Are you disappointed there was no red carpet?
I actually was informed before there was no red carpet because I've been asking a lot of wardrobe questions, like, do we have to dress up? So actually, it helped me relax. There's always that awkward moment when there's a red carpet at an event. The Danettes don't know what to do. So I was very glad that we didn't have to either A, get ignored on the red carpet, or B, awkwardly be shuffled around the red carpet by a PR person.
I actually prefer this much more than the red carpet, because this you just walk into your own private movie theater, no one else is around, and you get to watch the movie. There's none of that awkward, hey, why are you guys here? Kind of feeling.
And one time I had to sit next to Sandler at a screening of his movie. That was the most pressure ever. I'm like, do I laugh? When do I laugh? Do I laugh too hard? Do I laugh not hard enough so he thinks I'm legit? I was really freaked out. I'd never enjoyed a movie.
And then he said, it's good. It's really good to see you there, McLovin, but get away from me!
That didn't happen, Fritzy.
Well, you guys had good spacing in the theater last night, so things didn't get awkward, but they got awkward today. The Cardinals outfielder Matt Holliday dropped by, and it got weird. Fritzy, you showed off your manly features and flexed your guns for Matt. McLovin, were you impressed? After all, you're the man who benched 200 pounds.
Yeah, Fritzy, like Matt Holliday, I noticed was feeling Fritzy's guns, which was weird. But Fritzy's guns are huge, but they're not rock solid.
No, they're kind of confined to like one area.
Is that more muscle memory than actual
It's
muscle?
what it is.
Yeah,
When you're
it's
doing the
like-
same exercise over and over again, like one part of your arm gets big, and then you start ignoring your shoulders, and the rest of your arm, it didn't quite match Matt Holliday's pop
I
line.
don't know how to say this. It almost feels like it's like fat, like formed in the shape of a muscle. Let me see here. Well, no, that's pretty solid. I'm like Matt Holliday. Once Matt Holliday opened the door for feeling Fritzy's arms, come on, take a feel scene. Do it. Dude, it's interesting. Try it.
No.
Okay, all right. You guys also played career salary game with Matt. Seton, you asked Matt if it was too weird to talk about his money like that. Did you feel you had to interject because it was getting awkward?
Oh, yeah, you could just feel the awkwardness just being thrown around the room. And it just, to me, it felt like it was so obvious it had to be said, because he was just sitting there cringing and like, oh my God, are we really gonna do this? And I loved it, frankly. I mean, just because I thought it was a little awkward doesn't mean I thought it was bad. I thought it was the best thing ever. I don't ever want to do a career salary game again without the person here. It was that awesome. But you just have to, you know, they're sitting there squirming in that chair and like, okay, I guess we are going to go over how rich I am right now.
I'm sure he's
Awesome.
proud of how successful he is financially, but it's one thing to do it, you know, just amongst ourselves, and then when the actual guest is sitting there, and we're counting dollars and cents, and then doing over under how many millions. It's got to be
So great.
awkward.
So great.
Earlier in the show, you guys had your bubble burst when Senator John McCain was not able to make it in. Fritzy, did you take this harder than anyone as usual?
Yeah, I was very disappointed because I found out late yesterday afternoon that he was coming in, and I couldn't wait to see the guys and see the movie and let them, you know, I had sent out a guest list, and I'm sure they were pumped up about McCain coming in. And then he did a couple interviews this morning. I got a note like in the middle of the first segment, like at 9:15 Eastern, literally about a half hour before he's supposed to show up, suggesting that he's not feeling well and he's going to have to take a rain check and they'll make it up to us. So that was extremely frustrating to have him not be here today.
Brock, there's some things I've learned in my time working with Fritzy. If you see this move, watch this.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
You're kidding me? Are you kidding me?
That's never a good sign for the show.
I was a little relieved because you guys were going to want to play flitchball with Senator McCain.
That was
You were not on
I
board
had
with
to be
that.
honest, I was not on board with that. I mean, it would have been awesome if it happened.
That would have been pretty epic. And actually, I'm pretty proud of Fritzy because when McCain bailed on us, I think I IM'd McLovin and said, great, here comes 3 hours of Fritzy being bummed. McCain didn't show up, and that the whole rest of the show is going to be, come on, Todd, cheer up. Don't worry about it. We'll get him back. And Fritzy just sort of blew it off and was just like, all right, whatever. We'll just move on. We got a bunch of other good stuff going on here. I was proud of the way that you shut that down.
Thanks. I'm starting to mature slightly. They try to pull me out of that, so I appreciate my fellow Danettes not letting me just go into a hole like I would normally do. And hopefully we'll get him on soon, but I certainly don't want to be responsible for bringing the show down or making it a depressing scene or a dark cloud because Senator McCain couldn't be here today. So
Well, don't sweat it. He did the same thing to Letterman. And the only thing that worried me is that you're going to play flinchball with a guy that spent years in the Hanoi Hilton. So we asked the boss if he was more upset that McCain wasn't on the show or that Fritzy was going to mope all day. Let's see what he said in this edition of Boss's Thoughts.
You know, the moping with Fritzy, but you know what? It was my job to do my job better, to make up for a job that maybe Fritzy didn't do as well, at least in his mind, because there's nothing he could do. Senator McCain, obviously afraid to come on, heard the questions to the president of the NCAA and wanted no part of it. I understand that. So I had to make Landon Donovan, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Matt Holliday even better so people wouldn't go, yeah, but we didn't have Senator McCain on. These are small things that I do to help my Danettes as people, not just employees. This helped Fritzy have a better day. Do I get any credit? No, but I don't want it. Not that much. Be nice, but I don't need it.
Well, you know, Dan's not one to take all the credit for anything, but I know that when he was saying all of the work that he did, he really meant all of us as a group helping lift Fritzy's spirits here. And we're actually in a pretty dangerous situation where Fritzy's bummed every time someone bails. That doesn't really matter. But our very own young Paulie Pabst, a lot of pressure on the Landon Donovan appearance, and he was just like a kid on the day of his birthday or Christmas or something. He was absolutely giddy.
Can you imagine if he bailed?
Paulie would have been crushed if Landon bailed. Absolutely crushed.
Well, we'll get to his possible heartbreak. That was a politically correct answer. But we wanted to know, we wanted to make sure you guys got your political fix in today. So we put together a quick quiz to see how well you know your politics. Let's start with Paulie. What are the names of the 3 branches of the U.S. government?
Man, I used to know this. Judicial, not executive. I was gonna say federal branch, and then I know federal's wrong. Executive branch, and the other branch.
And the
You are 2/3 of the way there. You were missing legislative. Next up, McLovin, who's the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms?
2 non.
Oh.
I am going to say Grover Cleveland.
We were also looking for a Grover Washington Jr. for you, Fritzy.
Nice.
Fritzy, you're next. How long is a U.S. Senator's term?
A U.S. Senator's term is, I believe, 2 years. Every 2 years.
Incorrect. It is 6 years or forever. Finally, Seton, who is the only president to have never been elected vice president or president?
Holy smokerinis. The president to never be elected vice or? I don't know.
Johnson?
George Washington?
No. We were looking for Gerald Ford. He took over for Spiro Agnew and then Tricky Dick. Paulie, before we take a break, what is it like having Landon Donovan on today?
It's great. I'm a big fan of USA Soccer. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, only 5 seconds of soccer allowed on the box score as well, I guess. Sorry, Paulie. There's more just around the corner. Fritzy shares way too much information once again, and we'll take a look back at some violence in the man cave. We'll be right back.
So now that Paulie's on the box score, you think we could get more than 5 seconds of soccer coverage? You're watching the box score on Audience Direct TV, channel 239.
The box score presents great moments in DP show. Yesterday.
That was awful. That is terrible.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP show. Yesterday.
Welcome back to the box score. Lots of love happening there in the box. Seton, what do you remember from that magic moment?
Well, you could actually see the magic moment that Andrew Perloff's man region rests on my knee and then slides down the remainder part of my leg, and that is what you see me reacting to. And it was awful because it was in just unbelievably. You wouldn't think that you could get that much detail from your knee.
Extremely tight
but
quarters.
yeah, that was awful.
I'm not joking in any way. I'd rather be punched square in the face as hard as you can. Then do that.
That was too personal.
I think many people watching may be punching themselves in the face. As we saw there, the Milford Man Cave, near and dear to your hearts, but it seems like the New York City Man Cave is still a little new to you. Paulie, you seem to forget where the cameras were today. As we see here, there are 2 cameras in your path, as you found a way to stand in front of both of them today. First, you ruined Fritzy's single, and then you stepped in front of another camera while the boss was talking. McLovin, is that just amateur hour right there?
Oh, yeah. Now, I think we need to put tape on the ground for Paulie. You got to get your mark, dude.
That's great. That's great. Well, you know, I'm sure the directors had nothing to do with it. You know what? Yeah, I missed a couple of things there, and it was funny because I had to jump up. Someone warned me that John McCain was on TV. In the middle of the segment, I'm like, I got to turn and see if this is true or not. And I didn't care what the cameras were doing, but yeah, it's different down here. I hit my head a couple years ago, Brock. I hit my head on one of the jib cam and cut it a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little bloody. That was pretty gross.
Dan broke some news today. First, you guys are headed to Portland for a show in July. Seton, that's grunge territory, so you got to be pumped, right?
Oh, heck yeah, man. I'm super stoked. I love the Northwest. So rad. And we almost never get to go out there. So I was in Portland a couple of years ago with DP, and we had a good time. And I'm definitely looking forward to getting the whole crew out there. Although, McLovin, you were just out there not too long ago. And you were pretty much a rock star, huh?
I was in Eugene, which is near Portland, and I really could not walk down the streets. It was ridiculous. There were middle-aged men tearing my shirt off. It was crazy.
Mob scene.
I gotta tell you guys, you know, like, I know we've had some big meet and greets. Beware of this one. You might get underwear thrown at you.
Really?
By men.
Hopefully
Maybe
female.
even some female underwear this time.
That would be nice.
It's gonna be crazy.
Mix it up a little bit.
I have sort of an awkward thing now in meet and greets. This just happened. I wasn't at a meet and greet. I was just in Denver, Colorado for a buddy's wedding. But people have taken to just giving me handfuls of marijuana now wherever I go. And we were in the we went to the Los Angeles meet and greet, and I had to tell easily, you know, like 3 dozen people, like, hey, I really appreciate it, but I can't take this from you. Thank you, though, for sharing this.
Is that your official stance?
I can't. So please don't, Portland. I appreciate the gesture, but when all my bosses are standing around and they just see me with handfuls of weed, and I'm like, hey, sorry, I can't have this. Please don't do that.
Mail it to the studios.
The other piece of news today was that Jeremy Roenick will be paying you guys a visit in the Man Cave Friday. Paulie, why did Dan say you and McLovin should be afraid?
Well, we've had some experience with him. Roenick rang my bell, hit me in the chin, and checked me to the boards one time. That was a great time, though. It was really cool. I'm a big Roenick fan. And McLovin, I don't think he ever got McLovin. McLovin didn't take a hit, so that could be happening this weekend if I'm producing it all.
Well,
actually,
let's take a peek here.
He did hit me.
Let's take a peek at this. McLovin, you actually did punch Roenick, the Dartmouth death touch there, and Paulie gets taken to the wall. And then Seton with the death wish here. Fritzy, why are you immune from the wrath of JR?
Dan is overprotective of me because of all my hospital visits. So anytime there's any kind of physical activity or contact, he becomes like dad or a big brother and just doesn't want me to get hurt or be in any kind of environment or scenario that would lead me to
do you want to do something with Roenick this
medical
week?
center. I know I don't want to get punched in the face by him or checked hard into man
What do
cave.
you want, a back
See,
massage?
first of all,
A
what's
back
going to
massage would
happen
be
is we're going to set this up, okay, and then we're going to come in that morning, and Fritzy's going to say, well, you know, of course I want to participate in this. I just hope the sports hernias or the 15
do
other
have
things that I
I got
have
a little-
happening right now.
there's a little
I just
bump there.
hope that they don't.
That's there's some issues that could stand in the way of Roenick beating me up.
Maybe he could be like the 14th guest in a row to beat you in arm wrestling. That'd be neat.
He's not a senior
Is there
citizen. We
anybody
don't
else?
need to see
By the
that.
way, notice Landon Donovan was
Okay.
scrawny. He
All
could
right.
have beaten him.
Scott Hamilton.
Well, speaking of Landon Donovan, let's get back to him. Paulie, how is it like having Landon Donovan on today?
Is he back? Are you saying he's back? Is he back here? It was great. Good dude. Big soccer fan.
I'm going to do my impression
Sorry,
of
the
Paulie during that
5-second
interview.
rule still applies. Coming up, we'll see if Fritzy put the lotion in the basket last night. And yet another Danette suffers bodily injury in the New York City man cave. More in just a minute.
It's very freeing. I have a
But-
wife
but-
and two
but I-
kids. You can't walk around like that at home. You put the air conditioning on, you have a couple slices of pizza. Next thing you know, you just have socks on. I mean, sometimes you don't even realize how you got to that
How does
point.
that happen?
It's just very strange. There's something empowering about booking athletes and senators while you're just sitting on a towel with socks on. Sometimes a Karate Kid headband. Next thing you know, you're booking John McCain while you're just airing out.
Oh, welcome back to the box score, Fritzy. A little TMI once again right there. As you took the nation into your hotel room, do you think the visual of you on a towel is something the public enjoys?
Probably not. I get carried away, and I like to. I'm very visual. I like to present a detailed, clear picture. The guys, seem morbidly interested in what I'm doing from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I usually get to the hotel the day before the show, all the way till like 7 in the morning the next day. That's a big chunk of time, and I do spend a lot of it with pizza, Chinese food, and various
It's like
elements of nudity.
It's like Biosphere. He gets in there and locks it down for 20 hours.
I got my laptop out. I got maybe like a big black and white cookie. Maybe a corned beef sandwich or a couple of slices of pizza, Chinese food, whatever it is. Put on TV, just relax and pop that air conditioner and let things hang and let things hang.
Things were hanging, and things were hanging by your door. Who left the gift for you at the door last night?
I honestly don't know. I'm gonna guess Paulie because he does things like that, but I don't want to accuse anyone. But there's very few people that kind of know my little story and my routine. But it's very comforting to know that the hotel has such great security that they just give out what my room number is for such deliveries.
By very few people, do you mean our entire audience?
Yeah, I don't know who's flying in from across the country to come to
Or
our
every maid
specific
who's ever
hotel.
been working there.
It could be someone that's worked there, but there was no note or anything like that. And, but around 10:15, 10:30, I'm all relaxed and pretty much just wearing socks. I just finished my third slice of pizza and I'm watching the Grizzlies Thunder game, and there's a big knock at the door, and I decided not to get up because I was really comfortable and the game was getting interesting. And then there was a second knock at the door, and I honestly don't know for 100% sure who it was because I didn't open the door, look through the peek hole to try to catch the person scampering away after leaving the towel and the lotion. But we all have our ideas as to who it might
Now,
be.
Broccoli, I'll come clean. Seaton and I went out with Nick, the popular cameraman on the Dan Patrick Show, and someone came up with the idea to put some lotion and towels in front of Fritzy's thing. Now, let me tell you something. The guy working the front desk gave up Fritzy's room number in about half a second.
That's
And when I
nice.
told him the bit, he's like, "Oh, I love this." He goes, "I watch the show. I know what's going on here." And he knew the entire lotion towel bit. And this guy works the front desk on the overnight shift. I brought it up there. Now, I found it interesting that Fritzy would actually not answer a knock to door. That's takes a lot of discipline, I guess, to when someone knocks on your door, you just sit there and ignore it.
Well, normally I would go run to the door because that means the lo mein has arrived. But I had already eaten, so it wasn't anything, dinner or food.
Do you
or
cover up when the lo mein arrives?
I'll throw on a pair of shorts or a pair of sweats just out of respect. I don't know. I don't think I should just show up opening the door in a pair of socks, and I don't want to get arrested for disorderly conduct or anything like that.
Fair.
But if I had just ordered, the food within 30, 45 minutes, I would have been right there.
Why do you leave your socks on?
I leave my socks on because I just like the feel of.
Is it
socks
because
on
you
the
don't want to
carpet.
walk around barefoot in the hotel room?
That's definitely part of it. But and that's part of the reason why I set up
However,
the towel.
your naked man ass all over the place.
No, but
it's not.
No, but the
an
naked
issue.
man ass will be on the towel. 9 out of 10 times, I'll put a towel out and lay on the towel. But that 10th time, I take a chance of waking up.
I mean,
with
you're
little
the
bed
reason
bug
people
bites.
don't want to walk around their hotel rooms
Probably.
with bare feet.
Probably.
Not for sure, though.
But no, but I try to cover up when I'm lying in the bed or on a piece of furniture.
If you tried, you'd do it. Because, I mean, do you not? I can't do it. I try to get these pants up. I can't put these pants
I can't
on.
physically do. Last night I was wearing sweats, but by the middle of the fourth quarter, after a big shot from like Zebo or Conley, the sweats were
It
off.
literally knocked your socks and pants off.
It didn't knock my socks off. It knocked my
Knocked your
sweats
pants off.
off. And I had the socks on, didn't have the Karate Kid headband, and and then next thing you know, you're typing inappropriate things on Facebook and having messages with your old first grade teacher, who's probably 70 now, letting you know how you felt about her back in the day, and it's just it's weird.
While not drinking.
It's a little strange.
Well, I'm not sure any of your fans wanted to reach out and touch you, Fritzy, but they did reach out via Twitter and ask all of you what's on their minds. So let's check out our social media mailbag in this edition of Twitter Tuesday. Our first question is from Dave. Did McCain cancel after hearing he was booked naked by Fritzy in the show open?
Wow, that's possible. I hope that's not the case, because in the whole TMI thing, I would hate to think that was the reason that he didn't show up. But supposedly he was legitimately not feeling well while doing a couple other press, junkets, whatever he was doing. He was in the city this morning and did a couple other interviews, which made me even more upset that he was well enough to do a couple of other interviews, but couldn't make it here. But I guess it's possible that he heard that I was in my room booking him while nude, and he just didn't want any part of that, which I can understand and respect.
Maybe it's just his security detail doing their job. Next tweet is from Jeffrey. Does Dan purposefully wear fashion-forward shirts in the New York City man cave, or is that all he has in his apartment?
Oh boy, are you onto something there. It has definitely become apparent that Dan's got himself a New York City wardrobe. And like today, he may have broken out. He has like a new sort of green...
Spring jacket.
Spring jacket. It's sort of like a garage, like mechanic's jacket kind of thing that's a little more fashion forward. He's going with the Southwestern shirts with little snappies. Sort of bold prints. I think he enjoys being in New York City, and he's expressing that joy through his New York City wardrobe.
Green on green. He was very matchy. Finally, Eric wants to know what happened about dinner last night. Did Fritzy have 3 drinks?
No, we decided to go out to dinner. Dan bailed. Now, this is a real touchy topic. When we left the theater, we decided what we were going to dinner. We were going to go to this cool barbecue joint downtown. And now, Fritzy sat there and said nothing. And then Dan said, I'm out. And then Fritzy said, I'm out. Fritzy started walking back to the hotel, made a wrong turn, came back to where we were, and then went back to his hotel
Despite being
again.
a lifelong New York
But we
City.
did have a discussion, Brock, what Fritzy would have done. If Dan would have said, you know what, I'm in, let's go to barbecue, let's all go. Fritzy, if Dan would have said that, would you have gone?
I probably would have felt compelled to go if everyone was going. But
so you wouldn't have wanted to go?
Not that I wouldn't wanted. You guys were hitting the subway. I don't know how far away you guys were going.
It was in New York City.
It was in New York City. If it was very close to the hotel, because I'm a very poor sleeper, it takes me hours to fall asleep. I just don't like the idea if I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day to be out. And
it was 7:15.
I know, but I envisioned myself getting back to the room like 10, 11 o'clock, and that's quality lotion and NBA playoff time. And, I had my heart set on a couple of slices of pizza. There were some interviews that I had to work on to get ready for the next morning, which I didn't want to start doing really late at night. And those were the reasons why I just started jetting back to the hotel.
Well, that's actually how Fritzy left us, was when we were standing around like, all right, well, we're going to go do this. And he was just like, well, I got 4 interviews to prep for, so I'm going back to the hotel. We were like, oh, all right.
Would you have come
I
if
guess
you'd known McCain was going to bail?
Maybe, but ultimately, I like my quiet time in my little routine at the
because
hotel.
otherwise it's so wild back in Connecticut.
Yeah. It's very simple, but it's quiet. You're married with kids, and it gets noisy. And if you have a chance to kind of unwind and just kind of be by yourself among your.
So you go to Manhattan basically for some quiet time.
I go to Manhattan for quiet time. I have my bath
like
products.
the country. Go out
I
to
have
the
the
country.
air conditioning
Nice,
and a nice
relaxing.
hotel room, and I'm just.
Way to enjoy all the city has to offer.
Antisocial like that. I can get barbecue somewhere else.
This has been TMI with Fritzy. Coming up, is there time to talk soccer? We'll see if we can spare some time or spare some seconds for Paulie as we wrap things up at the Box Score Bar. Stick around. Welcome back to the Box Score. Last call here at the Box Score Bar. We've saved the soccer for the last segment, right where it belongs. Paulie, seriously this time. Landon Donovan dropped by the man cave today. Why did Dan keep mentioning how much you were in love with him?
Because Dan works with me every day and hears me talk about soccer and the U.S. men's team, and Landon in particular all.
You know, there was actually a really funny moment, though. This is really what set it off this morning, was right when we were doing the morning meeting, Dan asked why we only had Landon Donovan for one segment, and Paul came right to Landon's defense and said, well, you know, he's got like 12 other interviews, guys. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. And it was sort of like, oh, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to question Landon. And because normally Paulie would be the first guy to be like, oh, really? So he can't stay for a national TV and radio show? Oh, okay. He's only got time for one segment. Okay, that makes sense. Good. Yeah. Good luck doing whatever, you know, internet interview you're doing, whatever, and you have some type of shot for him. But Paulie right to Landon's defense.
No, Paulie, you went the extra mile today by wearing an athletic cup for a soccer demo, but Landon ended up kicking you somewhere else.
That was a yellow card.
Now, that's a yellow? What's red?
Yeah, that was a foul. So this is a red.
Uh-oh. Paul, you got your cup on?
Yeah. Go ahead. That's a red card.
Holy
what a special moment.
Now, wait a minute. Can we reenact?
You just kicked him in the shin.
You know, that was more of a square kick in the kneecap than it looked like, and it's a little swollen. Landon actually was nice enough to send a text back, very snarky. How's your knee? And then he put in parentheses, as if I really care. Just a courtesy.
Wow. That video really doesn't do it much justice, though, because of the lighting, I think. And you couldn't really tell. Landon got Paulie pretty good in the knee. And it was definitely a legit kick, much more so than I think the video really reflects.
Yeah, in theory, you'd think my favorite soccer player kicking me in the knee would be a great day. And it was more in theory than now I'm just a guy limping around more so than usual.
And you got a signed cup, is that correct?
Yes, that was really exciting, too. He kicked me square in the balls and then was nice enough to take the cup. He didn't handle it, so I had to actually handle it, and he signed like this.
He took the cup.
Fritzy, do you sign all the lotion bottles for the maids?
I like to do that because I think it's the right thing to do, and they seem to appreciate that. I don't know if they're going to sell it on the black market or go to eBay with it, but I'd like to think it's something that they can hang on to for some kind of special souvenir.
It's kind of like George Clooney doing autographs, though. Like, he'll sign everyone's autograph because it devalues it, so there's just thousands and thousands of George Clooney autographs. That's how Fritzy's lotion bottles are. There's just thousands of them.
No one's left me a note thanking me as far as the people that clean up the room, so I don't know what they make of me signing that type of stuff.
Well, I would thank you if you would tell me who's on tomorrow, Fritzy.
Saints quarterback Drew Brees will join us. We may hear from former NBA player and current NBA TV analyst Rick Fox is a possibility for the Wednesday edition as we head back to Milford Estates.
Lotion manufacturers, we're looking for a sponsor. Thanks for watching The Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern only on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!